Hey there, welcome back. I know it's been a while, but as you can see, I was busy changing all of this. Not only that, but more stuff also got changed, so I didn't really have time to continue with my projects that I was planning to do on YouTube. But now I'm back, and I was inspired to come back by a show that I saw yesterday on Netflix, but I will go that in a bit. I was planning before this talking about, of course, the movies that were on the Oscars, but I wanted to do it after the Oscars as not to be like, oh, I think this movie is going to win or that movie is going to win. Now that the Oscars are over, I can just like talk about the movies at length and if I think maybe that they were deserving of the awards that they won. I'm still missing some movies I haven't watched, Lady Bird and I, Tonya, which I really, really want to see. So once I see those movies, I will be making a vlog of those. And then on the winners, well, the biggest winners that were Call Me By Your Name, The Shape of Water, and let me see if I remember it by memory. 3 billboards outside of Edinburgh, Missouri. I think I pretty much got the city wrong, but I think I'm correct on the rest. So yeah, we'll be doing that later. But right now, I want to talk the thing that made me really want to share it with you guys, and that is one of Netflix's newest anime series that just premiered a couple of weeks ago, and that is Devilman Crybaby.
選べアキラお前が信じていいのは俺だけだ俺は悪魔ではない俺はデビルマンだ
Holy shit. Okay, so if you're not initiated into anime, you may not have a lot of interest in this, but I really think it was a very traumatizing, interesting experience watching that series. So I'm gonna spoil the living hell out of it. If you have any interest in depressing, very depressing narratives, I really do recommend it. It has lots of really horrible twists that come out of nowhere, and it was, at least for me, very emotional. But so if you have any interest, I really do recommend it. Do go watch it because I'm gonna start spoiling the living hell out of it. That being said, let's discuss Devilman Crybaby.
暴力の世界弱さは死を意味し強い者だけが生き残る今歴史がよみがえる
So I started watching the series because it did look within the stuff that I like within anime, which is shonen, a bit of action, and some stuff with supernatural elements, stuff like that. But let me tell you about my trip and how it pretty much messed up my head and why I really did enjoy it. The thing was that when I started watching it, I did thought it was gonna be something on the vein of Bleach, not like, oh, it's like a shonen for teenagers because it's an R-rated anime. The thing is that I thought it was gonna be like Bleach in the sense that it was just your human protagonist that gets involved in this other supernatural world and gains power to some magical thing. Like, you know, Ichigo becomes the Shinigami. So I thought that we had this guy and he was going to become some sort of devil. And yeah, it's kind of what happens in the beginning. We have Akira Fudo, who's the protagonist, and through his friend Rio, he discovers that there is such thing as demons, and all of a sudden he becomes very vulnerable, and a demon possesses his body, but he doesn't become a demon because he regains his human heart and he becomes a devil man, like someone that has the body of a demon but the heart of a human. And I was like, okay, he's gonna be like hunting down demons and that's gonna be the thing, right? No. It starts like that, but the first thing that really caught my eye was the beginning. The animation was really colorful and almost sketchy to show like the rangeness of the world. And for instance, in order to get access to demons, they have orgy parties. Like I said, this is an R-rated anime, and they're like raves with like neon colors and boobs and tits and sex everywhere and drugs, and like there's corruption everywhere in this world, which I thought was hilarious because like it's everywhere. Like everyone is like perverted and a sinner and horrible people. That's when it hit me like, okay, this is not gonna go your regular route. Especially the other thing, usually in these kinds of shows, I thought that, you know, when your protagonist gains superpowers, there's usually not a lot of, they don't have to adjust to their powers. And he did, because Akira not only became a demon physically, but he also was like an honest to God. He wasn't like a Japanese inspired demon. No, like he was an honest to God Catholic kind of demon. Like he needed a sense to, he had a sense to sin. Like he was horny all the time. He like imagined that he had to have like really hard sex. He was hungry all the time. He was vain. He was prideful. Like he had all the faults of a demon, which I thought was really interesting because he was a nice person. He didn't want to do all these things, but his body was just begging him to do horrible deeds, which I thought was very interesting. And then, you know, the first act of the anime, it's standard. You know, you have like all your tropes from like shonen anime, where you have, you know, like I said, it was like the Bleach moment for me of the show, that you had your protagonist and he goes and hunts demon, and he has his sidekick that was the friend Rio. He was like, no, we gotta get rid of the demons to help the world, and we're gonna expose the demons so people can see and be safe. And he has like he lives with a foster family, and of course he's kind of in love with the foster sister, which is super common in these kinds of shows. And the foster sister is really nice, and she also is very protective of him. And throughout the first act, the music also, I want to mention the music, was really good. I don't like techno music that much, but every time something intense was about to happen, they hit you with the techno music so you know that the demons are coming, and it was really effective. I really, really liked it. So the first act ends when the best friend, Rio, the psychic, exposes the existence of demons to the world. And everyone realizes that actual Satan monster demons are real, and everyone freaks the fuck out. And I was thinking, okay, they exposed the demons. Now what they're going to do? Because I thought that, you know, they were going to find some big bad demon, and he was going to find it and find faith in humanity again. Like I said, that's usually how it goes. It didn't. It really, really didn't. So you start the second act, and the second act is when I realized I had something very special in my hands. The world, of course, freaks out about the existence of demons, and I think this is the first time that I've seen an anime that puts, you know, they usually put the silhouette of political figures at the time. You know, usually, for instance, in the last period of the presidents in the United States, if you see the president of the United States of an anime, you know, it was the silhouette of a black man. It wasn't necessarily Obama, but, you know, with like aiming that, oh, the president at this period of time in the series was Obama. So I think it's the first time that I've seen the silhouette of Trump in an anime, and it's just a side note, but it made me laugh. So, like I was saying, everyone is freaking out about the fact that there's demons on Earth. And they start, his friend, Rio, the friend of Akira, starts referring to humanity no longer as we humans, but as they. And you start thinking, okay, this guy is not all that is made out to be. There's something weird with this guy. Because he starts saying, oh, this is expected. Humans are, you know, the typical, like they're weak predictable creatures that are irrational. They act throughout fear. And you start seeing a lot of fear tactics. And I thought that politically that was very real with the political situation that we have right now around the world. There's a lot of fear tactics. When something horrible happens on TV, all of a sudden we're very weary. Like, oh, I heard the news that this race of people did this, so now I'm afraid of this kind of people. I heard that these people do that, so now I'm afraid of this. So that's what starts happening all around the world in the show. Everyone thinks that your best friend, your teacher, your neighbor that starts acting a bit weird, if he starts acting a bit weird, there's a chance he's a demon. So there starts being riots, there starts being martial law, I think it's called. And all of a sudden, you start realizing that this is going to bring out the war. So again, the character of Rio starts becoming more and more despondent of humanity. And Akira, he was like, this is not the plan. I thought the plan was like we were going to expose the demons so humanity could be nice, unite, and then kill the demons. But now, we're racially profiling each other and going at each other's throats. And that's when the second act ends. It ends really late in the series. Because the first act was, like I said, very colorful, very normal within this kind of show. The second one was a bit shorter, but it was very violent. A lot of people die. Like the foster family just dies. The small brother, which is hilarious, by the way, that kid is corrupted as hell. So of course he becomes a demon. And then it turns out that the whole foster family dies. Everyone is dying. And you have your protagonist, the human group, right? And the friends of Akira. And you're thinking, oh, well, they're gonna make it. And just by saying that, I just kind of gave myself away, right? But this is what really caught my eye. So, I'm sorry. Yeah. So you have series like this where there's a lot war. It's not a new concept, where you have series that, the Third World War happens and everyone dies. There's series like Saikano, there's series like Mirai Nikki. The thing with series like Saikano and Mirai Nikki is that even though everyone dies, because it's all out war, it's fair, everyone's fair play, they always end with this kind of hopeful message that somewhere out there, there's hope for life. And that's always the nice, uplifting message, that even though humanity can become extinct, or we as sinful creatures, we can die, there's always hope for tomorrow. This series doesn't have this. The reason why I really like this series was the ending of the second act, which has to be one of the most hopeless, most horrifying things I have seen in a series in a while. Because I stopped comparing it to Bleach and it became Game of Thrones, like the ending of the first season when Sean Bean dies. Sean Bean dies. I was going to say Sean Bean. And you're like, oh, this is not gonna end well. The series is not gonna end well, because like the hope for a good ending dies with Sean Bean in Game of Thrones in that first season. And in here, like I was saying, you had all the group, the friends. There was this group of guys that did beatbox on the street, which was also really entertaining. A lot of the soundtrack and the first act of the series is given by these guys just beatboxing on the street, and it's really fun. And they do have this song where they talk about who's a demon? You know, are you a demon? I don't know if I'm a demon. And they do start talking about kind of social profiling. And then no longer you think that you can no longer trust anyone because of what you're seeing on TV. So they become friends with the foster sister, and the foster sister, you know, she's like the embodiment of hope. She's Champine. And because everyone finds out that Akira is a demon and that he's the demon that kind of started all, which is not true, they go to her house and they try to stage a mutiny. And you're like, well, they're gonna make it, right? They're like the protagonist. And they're telling you that they spent like 2 good episodes telling you that everything's gonna be fine, that they're gonna make it. And then of course, one by one they start dying in very horrific deaths. So the foster sister is a runner. She participates in athleticism. And she's like, I'm gonna run, I'm gonna survive. And then she starts running and imagining why she loves running so much. And you're like, oh, she's gonna make it. And then a car passes and you see that one of the beatboxing friends is on the car. And you're like, oh, she's gonna make it to the car. And she makes it to the car and the friend is dead. It was just a trap. So she turns around and you're like, she has to make it. And then they just stab her violently on the back, and they just start gushing her, just like saying, there is no hope. And it was a really horrifying moment for me. Because, as I was saying, usually with this kind of series, even though there's lots of deaths because there's war, there's usually the message of hope. But in this series, there's no such thing as that. Then, in one of the most savagest things I've ever seen on an anime, they grab the bodies of all the human protagonists. They cut them into pieces. They put them on stakes, and they start dancing around the fire. Like, we got the witch. They also say that, like, we got the witch. And they start dancing around the fire. Like, prehistoric people. And that's the kind of the series telling you that there is no hope. Everyone's corrupted. Like, everyone just lost their humanity. And it's been a while since I've been watching a series that I want to, like, stop and just cry. I'm usually not one to cry. So when a series breaks me like that, it's really hard. And then, you know, the third act, it takes place only in the final episode. Because, like I said, once the human protagonist died, there's nothing left. It's like the embodiment of humanity has lost. So now all you have is, like, this human with the body of a demon but the heart of human. There's, like, also more people with his condition. The actual demons and humanity. So they stage all-out war, nuclear weapons, everything. And then we find out why Rio, the friend that started all of this, why he actually did. And, you know, you start thinking, okay, this guy is more than he's giving out, right? Well, he's Satan. Like, not figuratively, like, literally, he's Satan. They make him like a beautiful angel that's like a hermaphrodite. He has boobs and a dick. They do say that, oh, I want to get revenge on the humans because demons. But that's not the main point of why Satan is Satan and does the thing that he does. I think that's beyond explanation when it comes to the devil in this kind of shows. But the interesting thing was that he tries to explain to Akira that, oh, I made you a demon with the demon with the heart of human because I wanted you to be with me all eternity because I love you. And they do explain this before, that demons cannot love. So he says, because there is no love, there can be no sadness because I don't feel anything. So he starts fighting with him. And then you see them both. The final image of the series, which was also just a huge shocker for me. They were both just laying in the destroyed Earth. They destroyed the moon, they destroyed everything, like, it's over. Earth is no longer. There's just like laying on some field of dirt that has been left over. The seas have turned red because of all the blood. Very apocalyptic imagery. And Satan is talking about why he loves Akira and how they're going to be together for all eternity. And you just see Akira there lying. Like, why he isn't talking. It was kind of funny at first for me because Satan turns around and sees him and he's just a torso. Like, he has been talking to a corpse and you don't know for how long he's been talking to a corpse. And then he realizes, and then, it ends with the full circle that, oh, Satan has a heart, and he starts crying because he killed his beloved. And then literally God comes. It's like the eagles in Lord of the Rings at this point. Like, the eagles come, the angels come, and they destroy Earth. So God is like, whoops, just like fired. But on a more serious note, on that ending, like I said, I've never seen something so hopeless, because everybody loses. First, you lose all your human protagonists. Then your protagonist, who's like, I'm not gonna give up, I'm gonna destroy the devil. He loses. He gets killed. And you don't even know how long he's been dead. Like I said, Satan was just like there chilling, talking with the body. He doesn't realize it because he's Satan. He's vain as hell. He's like, oh, I only care about my own happiness, until he realizes that all that he did was for naught. And that he essentially destroyed everything for nothing. And that's when I started finding out more information of this series, which makes a lot of sense why things went around the way that they did. So I found out that Devilman, it's actually a really old manga. I actually found out that there's more adaptations of it. Actually on Netflix there's another series where it's like kind of how do you say, like a universe. Oh my god, a cinematic universe. I cannot believe I forgot that word. Where they have like one of the other really classic animes. They converge and meet with the Devilman universe, like something really out there. But it's just how old is this story? It's from the 70s, the original manga. So I was reading, and the author, Gonai, it is Gonai, right? I have it right here because, as we all know, I'm really good at forgetting names. Yeah, it's Gonai. He made this in the 70s when, there was still fear of nuclear war and stuff of that nature. And he made it as an anti-war manga. And I can see that. How the point of all-out war will be the loss of not only life, but hope. He said that the death of the foster sister, which is Miki, it signified the death of peace. Because yes, she's like the most decent human being in all the series, and her death just symbolized that there is no peace. For me, it was that there is no hope. So this series really left me with a void after it. Afterwards, I just put some good old We Bare Bears, polar bear, ice bear hit a puppy, and all was good in the world. But it left me feeling really, really empty, and like with a huge void in my soul, which I think was the point. I did mention this, but I will mention it again. Usually series like this, that they have all out war and the world ends and everyone dies, like Saikano and Mirai Nikki, they end with a hopeful message. For instance, Mirai Nikki, in case you haven't seen it, it does end with the two protagonists reunited at the end, and they find a way to be happy for all eternity, even though the world literally ends. the same with Saikano.
付き合うって。俺が言ったんだもんな。常に生きろって。分かったよ。生きよう。
しゅうちゃん、聞こえたの。しゅうちゃんの心臓の音。とくんって。
The world ends, and the male protagonist finds a way to connect with the soul of his girlfriend, and they find a way to be eternally happy. And there is no such hope in here. The war is so devastating that not only the human protagonist dies, but the bad person, Satan, literally cries because of all that was lost. And, you know, given the state of the world we are right now, I did feel that it was relevant and poignant. That if we do lose that humanity, if we do give in to being demons, no one is gonna win, not even the devil. Even the devil's gonna lose. And he does at one point, Satan says that everyone who is an insecure person and gives in to their desires is a devil. Like, he can become a devil. So that is like a really obvious metaphor that everyone who allows fear tactics. Okay, no, it's not literal. Who allows fear tactics. Okay, no, it's not literal. Yeah, because I'm just saying, no, this is what the author meant. The way I took it is that if you allow yourself to become involved with fear tactics, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose your humanity. You're gonna become afraid of. You're gonna lose your rational thought. There was a lot of mention of, oh, human people are not rational. You're not being rational. And like I said, it was a really interesting experience. I started thinking I was gonna watch Bleach. Like I said, I thought it was gonna be a show where the guy wants some powers, go fight monsters, and everything was gonna be right. I did not expect it to end with Satan crying over having killed the love of his life, and then God destroying the earth because Satan fucked it up. So it was a trip, to say the least. That being said, I do recommend it. I really wanted to share with you guys my thoughts on it because it did really left me thinking for a really long while. And it's been a while since I saw a show that left me with that impression. The music was great. I really liked the music. Like I said, every time a demon appeared, they introduced this rave music, and it did really gave it a really nice motif. And it makes sense that the music of the devil is one of the most insipid types of music out there. And I really like the animation that went from very sketchy to very detailed, and the colors were hilarious. Like of course, the way to call the devil is by having orgy parties, and it did give it some nice kind of comic relief at the beginning. So if you feel like watching something interesting with very poignant political message that will leave you crying, do watch Devilman Crybaby. It's an interesting piece to watch. So yeah, I'm back. I'll try to post more stuff more often. I still have those other videos that I talked on the Coco review. But I do definitely want to talk about the Oscar movies first. I'll be watching 3 Billboards Outside of Ainsburg. I don't remember the name of the city, but it's in Missouri. Damn it. I'll be watching that first, and I'll be talking about that first, and I'll try to get my hands on Lady Bird and Itonia so I can watch them and give you guys my thoughts on them. So thanks for joining me. I'm gonna watch a lot of We Bare Bears this weekend. Man.
I know you cared so much.
Don't ditch Ice Bear.